What's up, everybody? It's a beautiful Thursday night. I got Chris Vargo to my right. I got a beautiful black man, Coach G, in the next corner next to me, and we got a good episode today, guys. First, we're gonna do a recap of what just happened of the weekend with UWW senior world level. Also, women's and Greco are currently wrestling right now. We got some good talking points with Raf coming up on the second event as well. Also, like always, our Instagram at the DeepWater Pod. This is our kick. Like, subscribe, follow us. We're live every Thursday. Chris, why don't you kick us off here?
Okay, so as we all know, this week we had the UWW Senior World Championships, like the premier international wrestling event in the world outside of the Olympics. Lots of upsets, lots of great wrestling, and our picks did pretty well, I think.
Our picks did pretty well.
I tell you what, we went Flo's ass.
We did beat Flo Wrestling's picks. Now, my quick question here is, what was the biggest upset for you?
The biggest upset for me was Spencer Lee getting absolutely dominated. Not like he didn't just lose; he got wrecked.
Yeah, he got tanked. And we said on the show that's Spencer Lee's gold medal winners.
Yeah, he's number one ranked wrestler in the world in weight class. He was number one seed in the tournament. Now,
turning silver medalist.
Yeah, you can take UWW seedings to what they're worth, which is not much. But
yeah,
everything pointed to him being the favorite by a long shot. Like he should have, everything was pointing him rolling through that bracket.
This was his gold medal. He just had to go. He just had to wrestle.
Yeah, he didn't do it.
No,
I did see a lot of his stuff, and the hype was there. Maybe on TikTok, everybody was talking about he was the favorite. He should come out with the victory and all that. Do you think the pressure got to him? But he's been around long enough. It shouldn't be about the pressure. So what would you say?
Okay, I'll take this one here.
What was
Coach? It's nice you bring that up because many a times it's been shown outside of his NCAA career, right, that when Spencer Lee wrestles as the top seed, he underperforms. Like I said, outside of the NCAA championships, there's been other international tournaments where he has been highlighted as a wrestler who should win the gold or be on the podium, and he doesn't get that.
I mean, you can include the NCAAs too. I mean,
Matt Ramos,
when he was going for his fourth one, to be in that category, that rare atmosphere of being a four-timer, and he shit the bed.
Yeah, and he was winning that match too by 5-6 points, and he ended up getting pinned. So he had that match won. So that's a question that we begin to talk about now: is Spencer Lee a better wrestler when he's not the top seed?
I don't think he was expected
the expectation is not on him. He just has to compete, and that's a lot of stuff I say when it comes to like MMA, fighting in the UFC, going pro from amateurs. Sometimes the bright lights and the expectations are so hard on you that you don't know how to handle it when you just got to go out there and do your job and then go home and eat dinner. There's nobody expecting you to do anything but just compete. But now we're expecting you to win. Now we expect you to be the face of a division. We expect you to be the face of this brand now. All that kind of good stuff. Of the weight class, of the division, all that. And some people aren't ready for it.
And Spencer Lee is one of those wrestlers where a lot of young wrestlers, I mean, including me when I was in high school, looked up to him. Like, he was cut from a different cloth. That was a wrestler that we all tried to imitate. He had a nice chicken wing tilt that I put in my arsenal. I've taught to a lot of people that Spencer Lee was a wrestler that we all wanted to try to imitate. And seeing him and his success, it's been great to watch. But seeing the fall off a little bit at this World Championship, I'm not even going to say fall off. I'll retract that. It's just not wrestling to the expectation. And the expectation for Spencer Lee right now is gold.
Which is a nice little segue into 57 kilos, where, I don't know, the weight class had a lot of upsets. Like, the Khan from North Korea won gold. I mean,
yeah, North Korea came in with some heat in this tournament. I don't know where these North Korean wrestlers were coming from. They might have been wrestling for their life, but they came and brought it.
He wasn't having like fighting underground. the last 10 years practice.
Well,
I don't know what was going on.
when I was watching, some of the commentators who were talking about the North Korean wrestlers, said that some of these wrestlers don't wrestle a lot of international tournaments. They pick and choose which tournaments they go to, so they don't see them a lot. And so, but when they do come to wrestle, they come to wrestle.
I want to add into what you just said is that, luckily enough, I had a chance to travel and go to a lot of countries. I've always said countries support their athletes different than we support our athletes in the United States. We can say no in the United States. We can say, maybe I want to do a different sport. When they pick you to do a sport, that's what you do. They're going to fund you, they're going to feed you, and that's all you're going to do is that sport. They're completely funded to be successful at a particular sport. For us, we can say, you know what, I had enough of wrestling. Where other countries, it's not an option. It's what you do. So you can see how other countries, 1 minute you hear nothing about them, and the next minute they're right on our heels. It's because they've been training to that point and they caught up. That seems to be a problem when it comes to sometimes American athletes, in my opinion.
Well, that and also, like, you notice that countries that tend to have athletes that come from poverty and the sport is the only way they can survive, they tend to they have a little more motivation, a little more heart, because it's all they got. Whereas, like in America, like, okay, if I lose a wrestling match, I'm gonna go home to my house.
Yeah.
I can go to the supermarket, get what I want. I can go get my ice cream because I feel bad.
If I don't want to train tomorrow, I don't have to.
I can kind of half-ass practice here and there because I'm just not feeling it. Right? And those other countries are like, it's win or starve.
I mean, you guys, you bring this up, and Dana White had something to say with Islam. Islam talked about why there's not a lot of USA champions in the UFC. Why? Because we can say no. And that's a little bit of a double-edged sword. But, again, 57 kilos, we had a North Korean wrestler win the gold medal there. Like, when do you think the last time North Korean wrestlers won a weight class such that? Because that's an Olympic weight class as well.
I don't want to say never. It feels like never, but I don't want to say never.
I can't even remember seeing North Korea compete.
I know, right? And it was good to see, though, that his training paid off. But Jared Seagrass in our comments, nice thing. Foreigners lose, they die. I mean, if we're going back to a country,
there's 193 countries, right? Some of them have money, guys.
but if you think about it,
and they're not all communists.
But if you're a North Korean wrestler and you lose, you dishonor the country.
I don't know. Who knows what North Korea does?
Well, pride is different. Like I said, we've seen, like, we watch soccer, we watch other sports, and how these countries will fight and stand. Their pride for their country is just on another level.
It is on another level.
We have pride too. It's just on another level in other countries. That's all.
It is, and I'm glad you bring that point up. It's we as Americans, we are patriotic, but when you see at these events and what a gold medal means for a Kazakhstani wrestler or a Kyrgyzstani wrestler, like that's their Super Bowl, guys.
You also got to remember the former Soviet socialist republics, all the stands, right? Wrestling is the national sport in basically every one of those countries.
Pretty much.
Like, the wrestlers are like the NFL players, the NBA players, right? Like, that's the hockey players in Canada, right? That's what wrestlers are in the former Eastern Bloc countries.
But they're not making that type of money in the NFL like basketball player, right?
But when you're
some countries.
But when you're like that 10% of those countries' population that gets to eat every day, 3 meals a day, just to have a house with like a floor and windows,
it's a bed to sleep in,
heat, right? It's what I'm saying, like, perspective, right? It's all about perspective.
Yeah, and again, I'm all for one person. Their training paid off. He won the gold medal, but again. Spencer Lee, I do believe that him not medaling might have cost us the team title. You might want to say. I don't know what your take on that is, Chris.
I don't necessarily know if him not medaling cost us the team title because he did get us points.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it cost us the
I would
team
say
title.
not getting any
Points.
points.
He counted on Lee as a win. He didn't think he wasn't going to win. But,
Knowing Spencer Lee, though, I know this is going to fuel him and it's going to make him come back even stronger. But that leads into the question that Chris had. Is Hawkeye Wrestling Club the right place for him?
The real question is Hawkeye Wrestling Club the right place for anybody that wants to win?
You know, Coach, if Hawkeye Wrestling fans hear this, Hawkeye Wrestling fans are delusional and they are crazy. They will come at Chris.
Come at me. I don't care. I got corn here in Indiana too. I don't care. What I'm saying is the guys that medal, for the most part, are from Cowboys Wrestling Club, Cowboys RTC, and Mini Lion Wrestling Club. And you have a couple guys here and there from like Wolfpack RTC,
Cliff
King, right? But like, think about it. Like, what are the Hawkeye Wrestling Club wrestlers doing at the international stage right now?
I mean,
Alan Woods left.
Yeah.
Thomas Gilman left.
Any other notable ones we can really think of?
And then look at Cowboys though. Valencia went from Sunkissed Kids to Cowboys RTC. Like everyone's going to Cowboys RTC. Well, they're going to Mini Lion Wrestling Club. It's coaching. It's coaching. Coaching.
But everybody can recruit any coach. They can recruit any athletes. So if they're not recruiting the right coaches, they're not recruiting the right athletes. So that's what it comes down to.
This gets to a conversation point where commentary brands, pretty much legendary coaches and wrestlers in their own respect, but is their time in the modern era of wrestling phasing out?
Well, yes, because here's how I look at it going. Just like Dan Gable created this whole wrestling tree, and basically every great college coach after him for years was from his tree, right? What you're seeing is the beginning of the Cael Sanderson coaching tree. Like, you got David Taylor's just the beginning. And David Taylor's having immediate success at Oklahoma State. He's already got a national champ. He's already got a world champ.
Yeah.
Like,
he's got probably the best recruit in high school that we've seen in a long time coming.
He's got Jax Forrest coming. Like, who? Yeah, like
we'll get to Jax Forrest.
Yeah, who is going to be the future of American wrestling, right? But David Taylor is having immediate success. Like Oklahoma State, I love John Smith, but John Smith was getting old. He wasn't recruiting as well. They weren't performing as well. Missouri started taking over the Big 12 a little bit. And it was just time for John Smith knew it was just time for him to go, you know what I mean? But
you're right in what you just said with David Taylor. I mean, you're only as good as who you produce. And when you produce champions almost out the gate, you know what I'm saying? And almost in their first time competing, there's no arguing with that. That makes him a blue chipper coach immediately. Almost a
and like Seagrass says here, right?
Our chat's popping.
You talk about Nick Saban with Alabama. I mean,
NIL also.
Dan Gable was Bear Bryant, and Cael Sanderson is Nick Saban. Like when it's all said and done, Cael Sanders is not going to go down as the greatest college wrestler of all time. He's going to go down as the greatest college wrestling coach of all time. When it's all over, and his coaching tree is going to be massive. Like David Taylor's not going to be the only guy coaching college that wrestled at Penn State.
I mean, they already have Nick Lee on Penn State staff. Nick Lee is.
And Nick Lee's going to be a head coach somewhere probably.
Indiana boy as well. Shout out Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana.
Evansville modern day wrestler down there.
That's right. But so for me personally, like if you're trying to win a medal at the world stage. Like Hawkeye Wrestling Club to me is just not where it's at anymore.
I mean, if we're not even talking about the world stage, when's the last time Iowa Hawkeyes had a national champ in NCAAs? They've had finalists, but they haven't won champion. Yeah, which is especially what 3-4 years out. 2, might be 2-3 years out, but they haven't had a national champ as well.
The NCAAs, even the Iowa guys, they get all these transfers in, right? #1 ranked wrestlers in the country at some point in the season, and they don't even make it to the final.
Okay, so what do you say is the problem? Is it money? Because now with NIL on the board, people are.
Our chat is having a nice debate about NIL as we speak.
I'll go on this. I'll go on the little NIL sidetrack.
Hey, we'll give you your NIL sidetrack.
I'll go on the sidetrack here for a second. Look, NIL means name, image, likeness. The whole purpose of NIL is to let kids go get endorsements, get paid for getting their autograph signed, get paid for jersey sales, whatever, right? And I'm perfectly cool with that. But just straight up saying we're going to directly pay the players and then have no regulations on it whatsoever when you finally let NIL happen. And then on top of it, you let everyone pay players and you have no salary cap or no pool of money where it's equal across all the schools, right? What the chat's saying is exactly right. They're gonna monopolize, and the rich, the blue bloods in every sport their blood's just gonna get bluer, and the smaller schools are just gonna get more and more talent starved.
Well, I think you're right on the capping aspect. It should still be based on performance. Although, yeah, we'll give you some money, but you better win. You better bring home gold. You better bring home what we're paying you for. So if you're not performing, I think you shouldn't be able to have a 3-year, 4-year contract. It should be year by year or freaking match by match, tournament by tournament. It should be a reason that you can lose that NIL money just as quickly as you get it if you're not performing. That's why you can't jump from school to school, go to the highest bidder. You still got to perform at the end of the day. That's how I think it should be. But you know how it goes.
Well, I think the big thing they are missing is they need to be signing contracts.
Yeah.
If you're going to pay them directly, okay, then you're signing a 4-year contract. You can't transfer it. It's a contract. You can't break it. Once I recruit you and you sign this contract for this money, yeah, you're going to get paid that money, but you're staying here for 4 until your eligibility. You are not allowed to use your eligibility anywhere else. Unless the coach leaves, then all contracts are null and void and can be reset.
Yeah, that's a valid point. Pivoting a little bit from NIL, UWW, more on that. 61 kilograms was an electric weight class as well. We had probably one of the most legendary wrestlers that we've seen in recent times is Zavar Uguev, a Russian wrestler wrestling under UWW because Russia cannot be represented as a country. And we had America's very own Jax Forrest, right? Jax Forrest.
Love you, Coach D.
We love you, Coach. Jax Forrest, guys, came in to this senior level world championship on an incredible run that we've seen a high school wrestler have. And there were doubts. Could a high schooler medal or compete even at the senior level world?
Right?
He competed. Now,
he didn't medal, but
he didn't medal, and he was one match away from medaling, and his bronze medal match was a bit we could say controversial, whatever. But Jax Forrest was a world semifinalist as a high schooler at the senior level. And I'm telling you right now, I think Chris would agree as well, and maybe the chat, but Jax Forrest is probably the future of USA Wrestling. Or one of the many pivotal figures.
To be fair, we got a lot of great young wrestlers coming up. We got Forrest, we got Duke, we got Bassett, right?
That's got David Carr.
That's just 3 off the top of my head.
Those are high schoolers.
That's what I'm saying. Like, are you 20? Like, are you Our U17, U20, and U23 teams all won the world championship as a team.
And wait, when
Each one.
and here, Raph is probably licking their lips seeing these kind of competitors, right?
Well, I mean, they got to wait a little bit, you know.
They got to wait a little bit, but
Apparently, you can get paid to wrestle in college, but you can't get paid professionally and still wrestle in college.
no, but I'm sure at some point,
Semantics, you know what I mean?
yeah. But Raph is probably licking the lips that these wrestlers are going to be some good bringing in for these.
My biggest takeaway from 61 kilos is that Yugoslav is now a 3-time world champ, but it was 6 years apart from his last one. He won in 2019, and then didn't win again until now. And I think that says a lot about. I mean, that dude's been a bad man for a long time.
Yeah.
And the way he wrestled, and honestly, the way he was able to get very few foreign wrestlers, especially Russians, very few Russian wrestlers can wear down an American and beat him in the last minute to 45 seconds of the second period freestyle.
Handle it.
Normally what happens is Americans are notorious around the world for beating better wrestlers than them because of our pressure and our folk style conditioning, and we just heavy hands you and we'll just give up points and wait to wear you out, and then we just bum rush you in the second period.
And it's pretty normal. We see at these international tournaments, these foreign wrestlers, it looks apparent on the that they've just given up.
Yep. I mean,
I think that the left world.
We'll get to it later, but the Headley match is a prime example.
Yeah, Trent Headley, our 92-kilogram gold medalist, we'll get to that
We'll
later.
get that one later, but that's a prime example of, I think the guy he beat was a better wrestler than him, and he just wore him out. Just wore him out.
I would agree.
So, I mean, that's fine. I'm cool with that. You know what? If you can't be the best technically, okay, now I'm just going to pound on your head for 3 minutes until you don't want to be there anymore, and then I'll win. It's fine. Either way, it's cool.
Marv, how are we going to say Trent Headley still sucks when he is a world gold medalist? I think I can remember, Marv, in our last episode, that you said that he was overrated and he wasn't going to win the gold medal when I said he was going to win the gold medal. And he ended up winning the gold medal. So there's no way you could say he still sucks.
He won the gold medal in a way that's gonna carry him down the line for a good little bit.
Yes, but
I think that was the tonight.
It's going to carry, and then we got another talking point to talk about Trent Headley as well.
We'll revisit
that. But one thing we need to mention is that the weight he won it at is not an Olympic weight.
Okay,
so that's a little
point. What do you mean by not Olympic weight versus world? World's has one weight class, and Olympics has a different weight class. What does that all mean?
In the Olympics, there's only 6 weights. At the World Championships, there's 10.
Yeah.
Once you get to the Olympics, once you get in that Olympic year, and you're trying to qualify and train for the Olympics, you got a lot of these guys that won World Championships in the non-Olympic weights dropping down to their Olympic weight, and now you got multiple world champs, multiple world medalists, now all dropping down. So the World Championship, you're basically combining a lot of these weights. You're basically combining 2 weights into one for the Olympics.
Yeah, a lot of Olympic weight classes can see multiple-time world champions in one weight class,
and it gets super compact, super competitive. And that's why it's so damn hard to win the Olympics.
That's another. We're going to talk about that in the next.
So, what does winning world mean towards the Olympics? Anything?
Yeah, I think in the year prior to the Olympics, it qualifies your weight if you medal at it.
In the year before, yeah. So
I mean, that's a big deal.
It is a big deal, but obviously we are what? About 3 years away from the Olympics, so we've got another couple world championships to go through.
Yeah, one more.
Yeah.
Then the next year is the Olympic one.
But
Olympic qualifier.
It's notably to note right here that in 65 kilograms, right? This is another weight class where we talk about where we can see it's 65 kilograms is the meat grinder, right? This is where a lot of dudes are extremely high level, extremely cutthroat. This is a weight class where USA has not seen really any success at as well. And that's something we talked about the last episode of the 65 kilo curse. But we had a medalist here at 65 kilos. USA, Real Woods took the bronze medal at 65 kilos.
Now, I'll be honest. I was not expecting Real Woods to medal.
I will be honest. I did not expect it either. But Real Woods, you proved me wrong.
And I was surprised by it. I was pleasantly surprised by it. But there's a but with that. Can he win a medal at 65 kilos when you add all the 70 kilo guys into that weight class?
Yeah, that's.
I don't think so. I don't know if he can do that.
That's another thing to note. Like this 65 kilo weight class could have looked, or not even could have, definitely might have looked a bit watered down with the addition of 61 and 70. 61 below it and 70 above it. So a lot of 70 kilogram wrestlers would probably be wrestling at that 65 kilo weight class in the Olympics. And 70 kilos was a meat grinder as well at this tournament.
So it's like, so to me, it's like, is Real Woods that good? Or was he just like the top two guys at 65 that got first and second were also the returning Olympic gold and silver medalists in that weight class? So, like, the top two dudes were the dudes. So, is Real Woods that good? Or was he just the best of the rest in that weight class? Because to me, looking at the weight class below those top two guys was wide open. It didn't feel like an extremely deep weight class.
Not as deep as we've seen it.
Right? And that's because, once again, I think the other wrestlers that are really good at 65 kilos were up at 7. So
yeah, and then
that's the question. That's the question we have to take out of that. Like, is Real Woods that good, or was 65 kilos just weakened because it was a world championship year?
Year. And I think, Coach, you'd like to know this, but your pick to win gold medal at 65 kilos did happen. Black Panther from Iran.
Yeah, he did.
He ended up winning his rematch against Toro Kiyuka from Japan.
Even though the only reason you sound like my wife picking teams for the NCAA basketball tournament. He just likes the colors of the mascots.
Call it like you call it. As long as I get the win, I'm good.
Coach only liked him because his nickname is Black Panther.
Yeah, all right. I'm giving him this right now too. So
oh boy, Jack, clip that. But aside from that, we saw having a USA wrestler medal at 65 kilos does mean quite a bit. But now hear me out here. Raph has a RAF champ in Real Woods, and now he's a world bronze medalist. So now whenever he matches up with somebody, that's going to mean a little bit more. Raph has a world bronze medalist and now he's a RAF champ.
Yeah, the chat's got me dying right now.
Coach, the chat's cooking you.
Yeah, I see that. Everybody in the chat, your mama.
But like I said, Raph has Real Woods, who now is a world bronze medalist, and he holds the title for Raph. So his next matchup is going to be pretty intense.
Well, I think if you got wrestlers in RAF that have world championships medals, they have world championship medals, especially if you got wrestlers in RAF that have a gold world championship medal, right? To me, that makes it when the matchups you got to make with those guys have to be headlining matchups every single time, which means a guy like Kyle Snyder, who just won Worlds,
we'll get to that later.
Is going to be effectively have to be put through the meat grinder every single time he wrestles a match.
Yeah,
there's no choice.
So that brings up a question: what qualifies you to compete at RAF? what kind of resume should you have to be considered a pro wrestler moving in the ring?
Luckily, that's not up to us.
That's not
Luckily, that's not up to us.
I'm asking your opinion. You so-called experts on wrestling. I'm asking your opinion.
my personal opinion, my Chris Vargo opinion is that
Fargo's hot takes, guys.
Robley should be an NCAA All-American.
Multiple time or one time?
I mean, depends what's behind it, right? Probably should be an All-American.
Have some international accolades.
Probably have made the U.S. World Team at least once.
At any level, cadet, junior.
I would say senior, right? But to me, that's good enough to be a professional wrestler.
So
if you've been an NCAA All-American,
if you medal in the Olympics, should that qualify you to go pro?
1,000,000%.
100%.
Okay.
There's infinity percent. That'd probably be the correct one. Infinity percent.
I think, yeah, I like where Chris is going on having the qualities to be a RAF professional wrestler. I do think that there's also not in Greco. I do think there is an electric sort of aura that you have to have as well. I mean, UFC has some not very good fighters, but they know how to sell a fight, right? So outside,
that really what it comes down to is, can you deliver a high impact match, right?
Exactly.
Can you deliver a match that fans can go, that was a good ass match?
Exactly.
For a pro level, is what it's going to come down to. The fans got to go, I want to see that again. If they never want to see it again, it don't matter your pedigree.
No, it doesn't.
I would like matches to be mixed in where you got like legends of the sport wrestling each other, even if they're both past their prime. It's just like anything else, right? Like you watch a baseball game, you got two terrible baseball teams playing each other. It can turn out to be a great game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of that level. Like, I'm not saying that they'd be, even if they go past their prime, they wouldn't be still good wrestlers. It's just like if you can match two dudes that are past their prime that were both high level wrestlers at one point, you would still get a good competitive match.
I think so as well.
Also, to be the man, you got to beat the man. So at some point, an up-and-comer has to challenge the reigning superstar so they can take that spot. It's still, you have to beat the man at some point. You know what I mean?
You make a point there, Coach. Now, that's a good pivot into 70 kilograms. Would Yanni have done better at 70 than BJ did?
I believe yes.
Chat, what do we think? Would have Yanni done better at the World Championships than BJ do? Chat, I'd like to hear what you got to say about that. But Chris, what do you think? Yes.
But the only reason I say that is because Yanni's experienced at that level. He knows how international wrestlers move. Because they wrestle a little different than American wrestlers.
I mean, he's already a silver world medalist.
Right. And in my personal opinion, I think Duke caught Yanni at a low point physically and mentally in his career in that moment. And the stars just aligned for PJ Duke to beat Yanni at Final X.
Yeah.
That's my personal take on it, because Yanni looked like a completely different wrestler at RAF 01 than he did at Final X.
To me, Yanni mentally out wrestled everybody he competed. It wasn't even about physicality or wrestling skills. The way he was fake shooting and all that kind of good stuff, he had everybody flat footed just about. Everybody he competed against, going except those finals.
I agree, Coach. And if you watch back to Yanni's matches versus PJ Duke, I mean, he teched PJ Duke in the first match 10-0. He was up by 7 or 8 points in the second match until he lost that lead. Right, Chris, you make the point that he was not at his physically best, and that just ends up happening sometimes. But I do agree that Yanni would have done that.
I think if Yanni's 100% physically and mentally going into Final X, I think he next PJ Duke the first 2 matches, and it's a wrap.
I mean, he came back, and then we see him beat Bajrang Punia at Raffle 1, who is arguably one of the best Indian wrestlers of all time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. Like, I don't, not really much else to say about
Not much to say, but outside of Yanni, PJ Duke, who would have done better, Japan ended up taking the gold medal at 70 kilograms.
Yeah, you did pick old
Ayagi.
Ayagi.
That, you guys know this.
Yeah.
Coach, last episode, I was pretty high on the Japanese wrestlers, and all my Japanese wrestlers that I picked either did medal or won the gold. So I might know a thing or two about those Japanese guys.
Well,
But-
they delivered, so you can't say they didn't deliver. They did. So
That's nice.
They did. They always deliver.
Now, heading into 74 kilograms, though. Again, my Japanese guy won the gold medal. Takahashi.
Yeah. Oh, Takahashi won.
Kota Takahashi won the gold medal for Japan. But our USA representative, David Clark, did a lot better than you thought he would do. And chat, you guys did that as well. Marv, I've got tabs on you, Marv. I know you said he was not ready.
I mean,
Even though he didn't medal, he proved that he can compete.
look, move on for a second. All right? He wrestled Sidakov in the bronze medal match.
And lost on criteria.
Loses to an absolute legend of the sport in Sidakov on criteria.
Now, don't get Chris on this criteria right here.
okay, first of all, still want the casual fans do criteria so they understand what that means.
Chris, try to do it without going on your tangents.
So criteria, aka the dumbest thing in the sport of wrestling, next to riding time.
That will get some hate right there.
You have a list of criterias if the match ends in a tie of who wins. So if it's like whoever scored a move with the most points. So like if you had a 4-point move and the match was 4-4, but your move was 4 points, and the other guy only scored 2 and 2, then for some reason you win the match.
Because you have the higher scoring move.
Because you had the higher scoring move. Or if it's like 2-2 and it was 4 push-outs, whoever scored last is now the winner for some friggin' reason. Like,
I hate the fact, because I don't like Chris at all, but I have to agree with Chris. That is some absolute bullshit, and dang it, I don't want to agree with Chris.
Criteria is
So
definitely
my
a fickle thing.
ulcer is kicking in because I have to agree with Chris. That's absolute bullshit. Why not sudden death? We can't do sudden death?
No, they don't. I hate criteria. I'm so pissed off. I hate criteria so much.
Yeah, I have to agree. That sucks.
Like, why does it matter how you scored your
How
points?
you score, yeah.
Like, it's a time match. Like, make the wrestlers decide it. Win them in overtime, a 3-minute overtime.
First
Figure
score?
it out. Whoever scores the first point in overtime, win. Like, make the wrestlers wrestle the match to win. Because you know what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Not a single international wrestler on the planet is going to want to go into overtime with the American. You know what they're going to do? They're like, oh, this is tie score shit. I got to score some points right now because I know if I go to overtime with the American, I'm going to lose.
Yeah. Criteria is one of those fickle things in wrestling that you love and you hate. Obviously, the guy next to me freaking hates it.
Okay,
And
Jeff, so you love it. You love it. Why?
I'm not saying I love it, and I'm not saying I'm for it. Like I said, it's fickle, and I've lost a lot of matches on criteria, and I've hated my life because of fucking criteria.
Okay, let me tell you something.
I don't like criteria.
Let me tell you something. When a grown man says a word like fickle, you can't trust him for shit. Ever. Ever.
Hey, look it up. It's a great word. But I don't like criteria, and I'm not a fan for it. Now I know that if I ever want to get Chris mad, I just gotta whisper criteria in his ear.
No, just say fickle, and you'll get me going.
If you whisper criteria to me or writing time to me, hey, I'm going to go off. Also, speaking of which, Seagrass, you just keep saying my take on criteria is some bullshit, which is haven't put a single thing in the chat saying why it's not.
Hey, I think if you scroll up in the chat, look at Aaron's. Aaron's poop hole said that he likes writing time.
Yeah, well, you know what? It can't all be right. You know what I mean?
You don't like writing time.
I hope. Hey, but we're talking about freestyle right now.
He's probably Metro.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. All right, moving in to 79 kilograms, though. Again, I had another pick here.
We both did it.
We both did.
The Greek.
The Greek. We said.
That's a 17-letter last name.
Yeah.
Found.
And he's actually Greek, ladies and
And he's
gentlemen.
not Russian. He's an actual Greek. The first Greek world champion in their country.
Yes. Shout out to Greece. Greece had their first ever gold world medalist.
The olive people win.
So, and not to say though, he did beat Levi Haynes, who is a representative in the gold medal. Now Levi Haynes just dropped a lot of people with this run.
Yeah.
Still a collegiate wrestler.
Yeah, but I mean, I think we both had him as our dark horse.
We did have Levi Haynes as a dark horse.
We thought he was at least a top five
wrestler.
I don't know if it's a surprise that he got second. You know, like
I think Levi Haynes wrestled lights out. I mean, again, when you have the coaching behind you that he has, Cale Sanderson, Nick Lee, Casey Cunningham, like it's hard not to perform at your best.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing, right? Once again, NLWC coaching, like you got, especially on the freestyle side, it's just that club and Cowboys RTC just have phenomenal freestyle coaches.
They do, and they know how to win a match.
The thing about these coaches is though, like you can see, like you really notice it when you have dudes that leave another club and go to these clubs, and you can see the level jump. Like if you had told me as a segue into this next weight class about Cowboys RTC 86 kilos, if you would have told me Zahid Valencia would ever win a world championship
in the fashion he did,
let alone win a world championship and not give up a single point, 3 years ago, I would have told you were high as a kite. There's no way. There's absolutely no way.
And better yet, you talk about coaching, right? His coach was probably one of the best 86 kilogram wrestlers that we've seen in a long time, outside of Yaz Downey from Iran. So who he beat? What better coach to have than the coach that held the titles at that weight class? Right?
Yep. I mean, it's crazy. Like Zahid was the wrestler of the tournament.
Oh, without a doubt. To wrestle at the Senior World Championships
and go 49-0 or 49 points and give up 0 is crazy. And on top of that, Zahid Valencia hasn't lost a match all year.
Yeah, and I saw a stat that only 21 points have been scored on him all year, and 8 of those points were from crowd league.
Yeah, it's wild. Like, effective, like what was that? 21, 8? What was that?
It's about 33%.
30%. 40% of the points scored on him from Kyle Dake.
And he beat John Dake 3 times.
Yeah. So are you saying his success is purely coaching? No tools like height, strength, all coaching.
His level jump is all coaching. Okay. The jump he made and it's the little things, right? Like his positioning, his situational wrestling, his mat awareness, that's all from David Taylor. All.
His situational wrestling is effing through the roof. I'll give you that. Because like I said, nobody wanted to tie up with him, right? He kept everybody guessing. He kept everybody on the flat foot. They were always a step behind. I was like, Jesus, right?
I'm hoping Brad has signed Zahid Valencia. If that's a wrestler they don't have, they need to get Zahid Valencia.
I mean,
I'm sure they have him.
I mean, any American that's a world gold medalist should be signing.
I mean, Izzy Martinez was over there, so I'm sure he was pitching RAF, or people were coming up to him for RAF. But I'm pretty sure we'll see Zahid Valencia on a RAF card pretty soon.
I mean,
without a doubt.
Don't you kind of have to though? I mean, he's the world champ. Like, don't you kind of have to put him in there? Because at the end of the day, right? If you got a world champ sitting over here, and you got another guy wearing your belt, and you say is a world champ, don't you have to put them against each other at some point?
I mean,
Like, doesn't that look like a necessity to have happen?
Coach, you talk about what makes a good matchup, right? If I got two world champions wrestling each other, that's a matchup.
World champ, world champ. Who's
But
won?
also, I have to go back to what Chris said before, right? I think we have to go through a build-up phase too. We have to go up, let these guys build that momentum up to get everybody on board before we make that match, because they're so high level. Getting the fans involved, getting the casuals involved, getting everybody involved, it'd be a huge fight.
Yeah, but I mean, what?
Keep it coming, chat. I'm sorry, but keep it coming, chat.
How much more convincing you need to do if you have all the world gold medalists on your roster?
But you're talking about the community of wrestling. You're not talking about casuals who's trying to get into the sport without a story, without a build-up, without a reason why they should wrestle. The casuals are not going to know. So why tune in?
That's where we come in,
Well,
Coach.
where we come in.
Exactly. So we still got to build it out.
That's where we come in. But again, Z Valencia, Wrestler of the Year. Yeah, gotta be. He's gotta be. At least in competition for what he's done. And I think this is a great insight to what he's going to do at the next World Championships and Olympics. Because I think Z Valencia is probably our lock at least. Whoever else, somebody else might come, obviously, because we got some time before the Olympics happen.
Well, that leads me to my next thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hoodley winning gold at 92 kilograms, right? So here's the problem. It's great. I mean, it was the match of the tournament. Bar none, match of the tournament.
Chat.
You know, being down 8 points, coming back, winning the match, like an absolutely phenomenal performance, entertaining, throws left, like people were flying around in that match. It was awesome. Hey. But the crazy part is, he plays at 92 kilos. Well, if it goes up to 97, there's Snyder. He's already kind of proven going down to 86. That's not the right weight for him. He's not fast enough.
No, and his losses have only come at 86 kilos.
Right. And then if he goes down to 86, he's going to run into Valencia, who's probably going to smoke him. Like, this guy won a world championship, and he's probably not going to have a spot on the Olympic team because he can't make it. That's crazy.
You know, we have a world gold medalist who is probably not going to make an Olympic team. But again, he could go up because Kyle Snyder might be phasing out of his career at that point.
Well, I'll be honest. I wasn't expecting Kyle Snyder to win gold. I thought he was damaged goods with all this bullshit, but this proved me wrong in a big mother effing way. If I ever meet the mother effer in the street, I have to shake his hand, go, my bad, dude. I thought you was finished, but apparently you are not. So.
Yes, he did he went the opposite trajectory of Tiger Woods in the same situation.
You know, that's just Kyle Snyder. I hope he celebrated well then.
He better not have. He better have went home and mind his effing business. Is all I'm saying.
But all I'm saying is here, USA went back to back to back. 86, 92, 97.
That's right.
3 gold medals. We own that portion of the weight class, right? And that just goes out to say that, look, those guys that we've sent cut from a different cloth.
Now, speaking of Snyder, I love a couple things about it. One, sometimes people make mistakes and they figure it out. They genuinely actually learn from them and refocus their life on what's important. Right? And he seems to have done that. He looked big. He looked absolutely friggin' yoked.
He was dominant.
He looked yoked when he went out there. That dude's got wings, homie. Literal wings. When he looked, holy shit.
Easy now, Chris. You're blushing over here.
Hey,
well, like I don't see what Chris said. I don't see none of that. Snyder did the American way. The quickest way for you to forget about a mother effer's problems is to win. Tiger Woods, anybody who had a problem, when they got back to winning, we as Americans, we forgot all about it because we love winners. That's exactly what he did.
Massive. And a big thing Kyle Snyder did in this tournament as well is he beat somebody who beat him.
Yeah.
Kyle Snyder has had an issue in his career with beating people who have beaten him. And he made the adjustments, and he beat the Japanese wrestler in the semifinals. Now, here's a question as well. Sadulayev wasn't in the bracket. If Sadulayev was in the bracket, do we still see a Kyle Snyder gold medalist?
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. I think so, because Snyder beat the dude that beat him, but then that dude also beat the Bahrainian guy who smoked both Sadulayev and Snyder at the Olympics.
Everybody beats everybody. Everybody gets a piece of the pie, but guess what? Kyle Snyder came out with world gold. So, go USA.
Wouldn't that be a crazy weight class to see if it was the Bahrainian and Sadulayev with the bronzes in that weight class? Wouldn't that be just absolutely stacked beyond belief?
And then Kyle Snyder with the gold there. Oh,
Yeah.
Hey, I have a quick question for you guys. Is there anywhere where wrestlers can do head-to-head matchups? I know like Beat the Street may have done it, where you can actually call out a match and get the match you want. Or it has to go tournament style no matter where you go.
I mean, it's starting to sound like we could probably get it at RAC.
So RAC would be the only spot where you can get a head-to-head call-out matchup.
The only one that matters, I guess.
Okay.
Like, you can beat the street. Beat the streets is still an exhibition.
Yeah, Beat the Streets is excellent. I mean, that's when we saw Ben Askren wrestle Jordan Burroughs.
Jeez. Why would we do that? That was
Yeah.
That was silly.
Ben's an entertainer. Hopefully, shout out Ben. I've seen his recovery is going pretty well.
Yeah,
So shout out him.
he looked good. I saw the video he made. He looked way better.
He's jogging.
Yeah.
So shout out Ben.
What I do think's interesting though, is now that Snyder's got gold,
Yeah.
is this Mason Paris match at RAFO 2 has a whole different dynamic to it.
Yeah, there's a lot more stakes than Mason Paris, Kyle
Because-
Snyder now.
Mason Paris is, I have to assume, is going to try and make a run at 125 kilos for the Olympic team. And Snyder's the weight below it. Right? So now you got two dudes. You got a world Kyle Snyder. Versus Paris, who then I have to only assume the winner of that's getting Hendrickson at 03, right?
Mason Paris.
Didn't do diddly shit at 125 kilos at World, right?
Yeah, that's our next segue. But Mason Paris does have accolades at 125.
He does. That's my point, right? Like, Mason Paris calls out Hendrickson to give him Snyder, right? And if I was a betting man,
Here we go, guys. Here we go.
I would say that Raph wants to see Snyder versus Hendrickson at Raph 03 because Hendrickson is trying to take the title of Captain America from Kyle Snyder. And I think Kyle Snyder don't like that shit.
But
I think Kyle Snyder's like, I'm Captain America. I'm not this guy with the wings flying around Captain America. Everyone thinks it's Captain America now. No. Steve Rogers is the only Captain America. In this case, Kyle Snyder is the only Captain America.
so are you saying Wyatt Henderson's John Walker, the Dark Captain America from Thunderbolt?
He's the one that has
So you think we'll have betting lines by the time we get to RAF 2?
You know, we possibly could.
So we got another month.
We got another month till it happens. It's difficult to talk about wrestling and betting, but you know, I think there's a possibility. But again, look, Mason Paris, again, Indiana boy, has accolades at the 125 kilogram weight class at the international level. Now, we sent Wyatt Hendrickson, who we all know who Wyatt Hendrickson is, and we thought he could pull something out, but then again, we weren't so sure, and he went one and done.
Yeah, he flew all the way to Croatia to wrestle one man. Wasn't great.
Now, Mason Paris is a U20 gold medalist, a U23 gold medalist, and to win his U23 gold medal, he pinned Zaire. Gold medal. So Mason Paris has the W's and has the accolades to compete back for that 125 spot. So this is interesting what Raph has set up here with Cal Snyder, Mason Paris, and then possibly throwing White Henderson in the mix there.
Yeah, they got pretty nice little 125 kilo weight class going on at RAP.
Yeah.
True. I wonder if Harris is going to try and make that run at 125 because the Olympics are in Los Angeles. He's going to, get one more in the tank because the Olympics are in the United States.
It'd be so sick,
Try and pull a Kurt Angle and win the gold medal on U.S. soil.
Gable Stevenson just comes out of retirement, surprisingly.
Well, no, hey. Speaking of Gable Stevenson, that conversation. He had a podcast interview with Errol Hawani, and Errol Hawani flat out asked him, hey, how come you're not deciding to go to RAF and compete there? He flat out said he's not interested in going to RAF. So what does that mean? My first thought was you would think he wanted to get that loss back against Wyatt and take his belt and prove that he's the baddest mother ever on the planet. But for him to say that he ain't feeling it right now don't quite make sense to me as a wrestler. Now, as a businessman, money, whatever. But how could he let this loss ride when he has an immediate way to get right back at him and get paid to do it? I don't get that.
Maybe he just doesn't care anymore about it. Maybe he's just...
No, I will say, though...
Maybe he just wants to be MMA, and he's just like, I don't care anymore.
I think Gable absolutely walks White in freestyle.
In freestyle? I think, yeah. Absolutely.
And that's what rap is.
Murders him.
It's a different sort of wrestling than folk style. But yeah, San Juan, Ariel did shout out rap, so that was pretty cool to see that show. But it's interesting because, as a combat sport athlete coach, we know this as well, right? Yeah. You guys are always looking to avenge a loss.
Yeah.
You all are. So it's interesting that he doesn't want to step in and...
Well, it's not only the loss, it's the way the loss... If you heard Daniel Cormier and everybody, I forgot the other commentators, the way they were talking about how Wyatt finished off Gable, it absolutely sucked as an athlete. Daniel Cormier was shitting on Gabe. Not like, Gabe sucks, but the way he was doing it was like biggest upset. He had Gabe's number. All the wrong shit you want to say. For Gabe to hear that and not want that ass back when he can get paid to do it, probably paid well, I don't get it. As an athlete, I don't get it.
Chat, what do you guys think? Do you guys think Gable Stevenson should pursue rap? I think it'd be nice name to have that rap guy, and I think it would bring in a lot of viewership to see Gable Stevenson versus White Henderson.
That will be the biggest rematch in wrestling history by the way it went down. By the way it went down, it will be how they're not pursuing it. I have no idea. I'm thinking they simply don't have the budget to do it. That's the only thing I can think of. It's too big of a deal. You got too much momentum, too much story, too much. Everybody got their shit to say about it. That it can't get done. I don't see how it can't get done. They should be begging people to invest in it to get this match done.
Chris, what do you have to say?
I just don't think Gable's to be honest, the dude already quit wrestling once. Came back because everything he quit to do fell through. So he came back because effectively he had to keep himself relevant so he can move on to his next springboard. Right? I just don't think he cares. I don't think he cared. I don't think the last 2 years he's wrestled, since he's won the Olympic gold, I don't think he's given a shit about wrestling since then.
I mean, he's completed the sport.
I just don't think, ever since he won Olympic gold, I just don't think he cares that much anymore. He wants to do it.
But now that's hard to say because he's having business conversations now. It's not like being, NCAAs or anything like that. Now they're going, hey, we need you to have the biggest profile you can moving on to the next level. Your biggest profile is to avenge that loss. You get that loss back, your profile skyrockets into your next endeavor. I don't care
Or maybe,
who you say.
or
Tell
maybe
me
it's
that's not true. Tell me that wouldn't be true. If he beats Wyatt and takes his belt at REF, tell me his brand would skyrocket off of that.
His brand would skyrocket, but then Mason Parris and Gable Stevenson also had some history, so then we'd see that unfold.
And Gable beat Kyle Snyder. I don't know, but I mean, another thing could be just Dana White told him he couldn't do it. He's just covering his ass for Dana. And
Well, no,
that
that sounds more likely. That sounds more likely. And there's a good story. Remember when Mark Henry was with WWE and they were talking about he's no longer the world's strongest man. So he went to Vince and he said, I want to go compete to be the world's strongest man again. And Vince says, we don't need the second strongest man. If you lose, you can't come back. Right? Now, granted, Mark Henry went out there and he won, but that could be it too. He goes, look, if you go out there and lose again, we don't need you. So that's tricky. You may be right on that point. You may be right on
That's
that point.
fair.
hey, there could be some stuff going on in the background, and he's just taking the hit for it because it's not that serious if he takes the hit for it. In reality,
Pivoting a little bit real quick, a new matchup was announced that we have under Cal Stein and Mason Parris, Nathan Tomasello and Roman Bravo Young. Now, Roman Bravo Young competed 57 kilos at the World Championships under Team Mexico, but he also trained for Cowboy RTC. Now, Chris, he finished better than Spencer Lee. And Spencer Lee is historically better wrestler than Roman Bravo Young. But he finished a lot better at the World Championship training under Cowboy RTC. So now, again, that leads into the Hawkeye Wrestling Club.
well, and Roman Bravo Young wrestled him pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? So they didn't really wrestle each other that much. But at the same time, like, Roman Bravo Young looked better this weekend than Spencer Lee did.
Yeah.
He looked like a better wrestler.
Yeah.
And I think RBY just is more athletic than Tomasello.
I agree.
Now, I think Tomasello is a little friggin' brick of a wrestler. So, like, RBY might be faster, but Tomasello is probably stronger than him.
Yeah, I think RBY is probably going to take this W. It's going to be a lot closer than people think.
I just think it's going to be close because Tomasello,
He's got such good positioning.
you can't move him where you want to move him. He moves when he wants to move. He's like 5 feet tall, so he's friggin' impossible to get low with him. And, he's just super, super strong in his positions. So, like, I think RBY can score on, like, scrambles. He can score on the edge. Right? Now, I don't think Tomasello can get in on him. So, I don't know how the match plays out, but I don't see a very high-scoring match because I don't see a lot of high-scoring matches in Tomasello to begin with.
No, I do think Roman Bravo comes away with the W here. Another matchup that we probably potentially saw was Bo Nickel called out Trent Hidley.
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
Bo Nickel called out Trent Hidley. Now that is an interesting match.
I would love to see that.
I think it'd be a good match. I personally think Trent Hidley probably comes away with the W there. I mean,
The way Bo Nickel wrestled last time, I agree with you.
yeah,
based off his last performance, yeah, you're right. So we'll see.
yeah. And it's the world champion we're talking about right now too.
Hold on,
I
but didn't I see Bo Nickel get a UFC matchup? I know he got a UFC matchup coming up too.
At 322.
Yeah, he signed a contract.
Yeah, he's going to play at 322.
He's trying to burn candles at both ends. I don't know about that shit.
Well, it can only benefit Raph to get the world champion gold medalists. It can only benefit Raph to get the world champions, UWW world champions, to hold their belt.
Yeah.
Because it legitimizes a lot of things, right? Because, like, let's say Kyle Snyder, right? You got Wyatt Henderson with the belt. Kyle Snyder is the reigning world champ. So, do we have 2 world champs right now?
Interesting take.
Well,
Do we consider Wrath belt holders as world champions?
and because of that, right? I lost my train of thought. Shit.
Hey, this is what happens when you drink Coke.
Whoa. If
Come on, get it.
the whole point of it is you're trying to make the goal of it is for that RAF title belt to be the pinnacle of the sport.
Agreed.
That's the ultimate goal, right? Everyone, every guy, a lot of other sports, you win an Olympic medal, you win an Olympic gold medal, what do? You go pro, right?
Yeah.
Boxers win gold medals, they go pro. And then their pro championships mean way more, like, there's so much more that comes with that than just having an Olympic gold medal than never achieving anything at the professional level. Like, if you're an Olympic gold medalist, you go pro, and you don't accomplish anything at the pro level, you're one of those guys people have to Google to remember you won a gold medal in Olympics.
Yeah.
Right? So, if the goal is to make the RAF belt be the pinnacle world championship belt of the sport of wrestling, then you got to bring these world champs in,
Yeah.
and eventually have them consistently get beat down by the RAF champion.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that aren't American.
Now, if they made the Wrath belt like the UFC belt, it comes with a hefty paycheck. If they're doing that, then that's gonna make that belt really attractive to a lot of world champions.
Yeah, that RAF belt is going to be pretty elusive to a lot of people. Coach, I want to shout something out real quick.
What's up?
Your Gamma fighter, Lee Klein. What happened?
Yeah, man, we kind of knew he was gonna get bodied, man. We were talking about me and Justin Brown that he was led to the slaughter. I ain't want to admit it, but we knew he was gonna get bodied. Yeah.
I tuned in just because he was a Gamma product, and I was disappointed.
Well, hey, I'm gonna tell you, we kind of knew that.
Yeah, Coach, I just wanted to ask about Lee, man. Have you talked to him at all? Like, hey, are you good?
No, actually, I'm about to do an interview with him. I'm probably gonna ask him that question.
Yeah, he got KO'd in the first round by Santiago Luna.
Yeah, but I'll be real. We knew that was going to be a possibility, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think that's like the big takeaway from having this is the first world. This is the first world championships we've had with RAF in existence.
Yeah, and this just added a lot of these RAF matches to more weight to.
So now we got to figure out what's this pecking order going to be. How are we going to convince wrestlers that the RAF title belt is the top of the mountain?
Yeah.
Now that is legitimately where we come in. Like I said, people
right.
a lot of people have to recognize what this means. Just like how the UFC branded themselves as the pinnacle of the sport. The UFC put out enough content to go, we're the top of the heap. If you make it to us, you have reached it. That's what we have to do with RAF.
And I think RAF can get to that peak. I think RAF is going to get there. I mean, being at the first event, it only just gave me goosebumps in that. The next event's at Rec Hall. I mean, a legendary arena. I think it's only going to get better, especially with the 2 matchups they just announced. And I have a feeling we've got some pretty interesting matchups coming later on, too. I mean, if they're going to follow up the first card, it's got to have some electric heat on the second card.
Yeah.
You only got goosebumps because you're a weak constitution.
Oh, listen.
Were you cold, bud? Were you cold?
I might have
Were
been.
you chilly?
I was talking about the atmosphere and the production that was there.
No emotions.
It was electric. It was electric.
Well, fight fans, I'll tell you this: we're gonna have some surprise news coming to you real soon. So stay tuned and watching what we do with DeepWater. You're probably gonna get some news that you're gonna be very excited about.
Yeah, we might have some pretty cool stuff lined up. Away from the men's hold up of the world.
Yeah, I was very surprised by a couple things in the women's division of the Senior World Championships.
Yeah,
Chris,
let me take over this.
The U.S. did not perform very well, which was kind of surprising. Even though the team's young, they're still like you're supposed to be a top one or two team in the world all the time.
Yep.
And we had a great Marulias getting gold, being coached by Sarah Gilbrand. And Marulias worked her way back to the top. When he was another wrestler, looked like she was on the way down.
A little title a woman's version of Kyle Snyder, actually.
Well,
oh yeah,
first. No.
In the athletic field. In the athletic field.
Not like Kyle Snyder.
In the athletic field.
No. Just she looked like she's been wrestling. She's been wrestling for a long time. And it looked like maybe the physicality of the sport was catching up to her body. And it looked like she was on the downward trend. And then she revitalizes her career at this World Championship.
With all kids.
To the finals.
Yeah.
She sent everybody to the finals, and then beat a North Korean in the finals. Blades and Welper got bronze. So I guess Hawkeye Wrestling Club is good for women's wrestling.
Well, see, that brings up the next question. Was with Blaze. Blaze was picked to be a pro athlete at wrestling, and then her first, I don't know about her first world tournament. Soon as she gets to a world stage, she takes bronze. Is that a pro athlete in your book?
Well,
yes.
Yeah. Well, she also is.
She's also silver last
She's
year.
a Olympic silver medalist.
Yes, yeah, silver.
Okay.
Okay.
So
fair enough.
Technically, I personally think bronze is not to Kendi Blades standards. I think Kendi Blades was a gold.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying it's no reason at a professional level.
Oh yeah.
Even though in international wrestling you get 2 bronzes, so is the way they set it up. So,
I mean, any medaling at the international stage is pretty important. I mean, the brackets are huge nonetheless. So any medal at the international stage is pretty it's pretty cool.
Definitely still a professional level wrestler for sure.
But the NCAA doesn't think so.
I saw her match. Did you think she just get out muscled? Because her opponent looked like she was way stronger. It looked like she can push Blaze around.
She wrestled a Japanese girl coach, and the Japanese women's wrestling team is
really good.
The pinnacle of women's wrestling.
Yeah, they're real good.
Gotcha.
Unbelievably good. So. Then the other thing I saw was North Korea had like 4 world champs in the women's division.
North Korea brought the heat in the men's and the women's.
Just, like, where the hell did these people come from? Obviously, North Korea. That's not what I'm saying, right? They're like
Kim Jong-un might have been having some guys in some test tubes underground or something.
I'm not going to sit here and say steroids, all right? But I would say it seems very similar to old Russia. Is all I'm saying.
When I tell you that's all they ever do is compete in one sport day in and day out and get paid to do it. Indonesia, when they lost that Worlds at Gamma USA in Indonesia, one of the benefactors in Indonesia freaking bought a building, turned it into a MMA training camp, hired every MMA athlete that competed, and paid their parents for their athletes to train full time to get better at MMA. If they would do that in Indonesia, you can only imagine what they're doing in Japan.
I think.
I'm just saying.
I think the leader Kim Jong-un.
I'm just saying it's North Korea, right? So no one knows what goes on inside of there. I
think Kim Jong-un's got got humans under the underground, and he's got them in test tubes, and he's feeding them stuff.
Look at all you conspiracy theorists right now.
He's creating the ultimate life form.
Really satire. But, no, I mean, it's a legitimate question. Like,
Yeah.
look what happened to the Russians when they weren't allowed to do steroids anymore. Like, the rest of the world caught up to them.
Look at the Russians at the World Championships last week and wrestled in the UWW. Not a lot of them placed. Other than Sidakov, Uguayev.
No, because the top four was Iran,
Japan, USA,
Iran,
Azerbaijan.
and Azerbaijan, right? So, like, that was kind of what we said was going to happen, right? We said Iran, Japan, USA, top three.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Iran was a threat. I was like, when did Iran become a threat? But
no,
Iran's always been very, very, very good at wrestling.
Well, first of all,
always in the top three. Always.
It's Iran, by the way. They hate when we say Iran.
Well, we're American. We'll say how
it's Iran, and Iran is a wrestling powerhouse.
Yes, gotcha. They are absolute dogs.
They're home to one of the greatest wrestlers of all time in Hassan Yazdani.
Yeah,
and Hassan Yazdani is one of those wrestlers who have beaten David Taylor multiple times.
But he didn't beat him when it counted.
Didn't beat him when it counted.
The Olympic gold medal. He's calling me a wrestler.
But, yeah, so Iran is a wrestling powerhouse. But you got anything else to tell the lads, Chris? Coach, you guys got any closing remarks?
Yes, I can tell Giga Chad I can read and write just fine.
Giga Chad.
No, we good, but like I said, we got some good news. We got some good things in the works. DeepWater Podcast is about to really turn it up a notch. We appreciate all you guys sticking with us and follow what we're doing. But yeah, we're about to get down in the big way if everything goes as planned. So yeah, stay tuned. We're about to turn it up a notch.
Yeah, everybody in the chat, I just want to say I appreciate y'all for interacting and hanging out with us. You guys made this a fun time tonight. We had a lot of good laughs. And every Thursday, 8 o'clock, keep it coming. I know I said we'd have some stuff on the socials, but we're working with stuff in the background. We're enlisting some child labor. So that's all jokes. But chat, thank you. Be on the lookout for our socials. Now we're offline.
Yeah, we went offline. I don't know what happened. That wasn't me. Oh. My bad.
After I said child labor.
Yeah, there you go. You violated. No, it showed up. It showed up.
You can't pop us back on, can you?
I don't know. We could try. I don't even know why I did that, though. Hold on.
Child labor. I love it. Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. It happens. Yeah, we're just going off for our closing remarks.
Yeah, you want to try to go back on? Oh, we are back on.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh.
Refresh that.
I don't know what happened.
All right, so if we're back on, ladies and gentlemen, like I was saying. Are we there?
Yeah, we're there.
Oh, yeah, we're here. Sorry, guys. We had a lot of technical difficulties. Our production specialist messed up.
Yo, mama.
All right. Well, like I was saying, we've got Marv. We got child labor. Yeah. Not really, but so we got some cool stuff coming on our socials. We got some cool stuff behind the scenes. Definitely want you guys to follow the Instagram. We'll have some cool stuff coming out. And again, we do have a TikTok. We have a link tree. So in our Instagram bio, click on our link tree. It can direct you to our Kick, our Instagram, our TikTok, any other social form that we have. We will be getting a Facebook here, ran by the old folk over here. Apparently they love Facebook. I'm not a big Facebook guy, but they want the Facebook, so they're gonna have it. You know, what they want, they get. They're coming to the end of their life. Elderly citizens can get what they want.
Yeah, YouTube coming as well. So we'll be going live on YouTube and Kick at the same time moving forward.
Yeah, that'll be some cool stuff as well. We'll be starting to dual stream on YouTube and Kick at the same time. So be sure to tune into that. And like I said, I just want to say thanks, chat, for hanging out with us and making this a fun experience. I think I laughed the most in the chat today. You guys were saying some funny stuff. You guys are on Chris and Coach's booty, and I loved it.
I'm a millennial, dude. I'm not even there's a whole generation between me and the boomers.
Once again, when a guy says a word like booty, suspect.
I said boomer.
No, it was me. I said booty.
Oh, you said booty.
I said booty. I like booty.
All right, guys. Well, till next week.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all hanging out with us.
All right, hey, y'all hold it down. Hey, great chat. Appreciate it. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. DeepWater is here to stay, so stay tuned for what's next. We're having some fun. Peace out.
Peace out, y'all.
Later.